Hi, children. Often we realize that when we start looking into a chat, say, "Oh, I forgot to tell her something or tell him something. Let me send a chat," and we move on to one chat, and then we look at what else is happening, and then we suddenly we don't realize how much time has passed. Right? Sometimes 15 minutes, sometimes half an hour, and sometimes when we sit to watch just one show, I have a short period of time, and then I must go and do my homework, and we realize that very quickly time moves on from either 15 minutes to 2 hours or 3 hours. I've had this experience in the past, right? So when you do this for much longer time than you had planned, and if you're sitting with one particular thing, say YouTube after YouTube or show after show of some sort, and it moves into 2 to 3 hours, that's what we call binge watching, right? So binge watching is a tendency for a lot of us to give us a feeling of satisfaction. I know when you are able to finish one show or one YouTube and then you move on to the next one, our brain releases something called dopamine. Okay, now dopamine is a pleasure hormone. Dopamine is also a reward seeking hormone. Okay, reward seeking hormone would mean that when I want to see something and I'm able to see it, wow, this is over, now let me just scroll to the next one, and I'm seeing the next one, right? So when we do that, the dopamine gives us a sense of, wow, I can do it, wow, this is good. Dopamine is also a hormone which keeps us going. We do a 10-minute marathon and then we want to run a little bit more. That's dopamine which keeps us going. It's a get going hormone, the enthusiasm hormone. That's a neurotransmitter. Okay, so when we watch one after the other, we get into something called as a dopamine loop. We get happy, more dopamine is released, and because more dopamine is released, we are looking forward to more, because it's a reward seeking hormone, so we look forward to more, and that we get into a loop, right? Now, what is the problem with binge watching? One is that we spend such a lot of time going from one series to another. Binge watching also gives us a sense of identification, meaning when we are watching something, either a series or even a YouTube, I'm identifying myself with something in that screen or in that play or whatever we are watching. So let's say we are taking Game of Thrones. Just think properly. Are you identifying yourself with one of the characters in Game of Thrones? I had a child once who told me that that child went through the entire season of Game of Thrones in a matter of 3 days, 3.5 days. And why did that child do that? The child said, these my friends are speaking of something which I don't understand, and I wanted to be a part of the conversation, so I tried to fit in. So we often go through binge watching also to fit in, not just being identified with the character. Why would we identify with the character? Because it gives us a sense of self-attestation, or a sense of a validity that yes, there is somebody else who's going through a life which is similar to mine, and it's okay, or that's what I am. So often binge watching gets us into a loop, and we go through a pseudo addiction, and we all know that addictions are not very good, right? And if you catch yourself doing binge watching, children, especially after classes, it's time to realize that unless we cut it to completely to a stop, or close it knowingly, it's not going to take us very far, right? And why is binge watching even more dangerous, or even more not healthy for young children who are attending school? Because whatever you learn in school is all new stuff, right? It's all new. All classes are giving you new information, and to assimilate new information and be able to retrieve it back over a period of time, we need to allow the brain, that period of relaxation, the period where it is going through all these connections in the neocortex is where it all this happens. And it needs that sleep time for it to assimilate, make those connections, and then be able to bring it back. And when you pump yourself with another new information where your brain is going completely away from your subject, you are actually not allowing that memory to happen, and therefore memory doesn't happen. And if you look back after binge watching, if you go back and look at what was taught in the morning, it will be hard to recollect, right? Give it a try. So how do we put a close to it? So find something which is very, very exciting. Remember, we spoke about creativity and finding out hobbies. So keep something ready. Okay, I'm going to watch one series. Keep something ready. At the end of one series, I switch it off, and then I'm going to walk off to do something else, right? Now, when binge watching is also associated with a muscular movement, like changing of a channel, or use a single finger to change a screen, or some such thing, you're actually adding a muscle movement. That's another information, that's another input along with your binge watching. And that comes to something like Pavlov's dog. The minute the bell rings, he you would start salivating even the food was not there. So that habit is even more reinforced, right? And therefore, first thing would be to stop your muscular movement, stop that and keep it away, and go on to whatever creativity you have planned. Pick up your camera or pick up your drawing pencil or whatever you can think of, right? So let's put an end to binge watching, because that's not taking us anywhere. Go ahead, watch 1 or 2, but tell yourself that I'm not going to allow 15, half an hour or 2 hours or whatever of my life to be wasted, right? So take care and all the best. Ciao.